What is going on, y'all? GeoFux here, and we are going to be discussing Amber Rose. If you don't know, I am a intersex trans man. I was born intersex, and I am a transgendered man. I identify as an intersex transgendered man. So, this is why I will forever be skeptical of a lot of people, particularly cisgendered people who claim to be allies, because time and time again, we are reminded that there is a large portion of cisgendered people who are actually transphobic and they are not allies. Just like there are a large population of heterosexual people who are homophobic, who are biphobic, and are not allies. In fact, I will have another video discussing Target very soon. But let's talk about Amber Rose. So Amber Rose recently took a picture with former President Donald J. Trump and made a very much transphobic caption for their picture. So Amber Rose dragged online for transphobic defense of former President Donald J. Trump. And then, mind you, she's also endorsing former President Donald J. Trump for presidential election of 2024. And this is off of allhiphop.com. So social media users branded Amber Rose transphobic following her response to the backlash for supporting former President Donald Trump. Amber Rose refused to walk back her support for former President Donald Trump despite being dragged online after endorsing the former president for upcoming elections. Social media users criticized Amber Rose after she posed for a photo with former President Donald and former First Lady Melania Trump, branding her a hypocrite. Many pointed to her work as an advocate for women's rights, including her annual Slut Walk event and past negative comments about Trump. And then, I'm just gonna, highlight some of the past comments that Amber Rose has made on social media. So, two of these comments were made on social media via Twitter, one in 2017 and another one in 2018. So, January 21st, 2017, Amber Rose said on Twitter, Trump thinks he's slick showing up to the Women's March in LA. And it's literally just a picture of a trash can with overflowing trash. Then the following year and a half, going on 2 years later, September 26, 2018, Amber Rose on Twitter wrote, "Man, fuck that. Fuck the fact that he's owed and fuck the fact that he was on TV. He is a sexual predator, just like Trump and Harvey. I hope they get their day as well. So y'all are going to sit." And this is what I mean by the hypocrisy with a lot of these people. 1 minute y'all are, claiming to be supporting women's rights, supporting equity, freedom, equality, standing up against Donald J. Trump's rhetoric that is, touting for misogyny, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, racism, xenophobia, Islamophobia. You know what I mean? And then next minute, you're sitting up here taking pictures with the man and endorsing him for president. It's in your face, live time, how hypocritical a lot of these people are. All right? Amber Rose addressed the backlash on Instagram, claiming that people of color are brainwashed when it comes to former President Donald Trump, before making some questionable claims. And then she went on to say, "Y'all think Biden cares about black people?" She asked, before calling her detractors sad and urging them to research the candidates as she did. And then she went on, "I'll always put women first." Amber Rose added, "Y'all want biological men in women's sports. Eye roll emoji. Donald J. Trump supports the most reasonable compromise on abortion. Child, it's because of Donald J. Trump and the Republican Party that abortion federally was taken down as a federal right. Roe versus Wade was taken down by the U.S. Supreme Court, whom Donald J. Trump, appointed a bunch of Trump cronies as Supreme Court justices. He put his own people into the Supreme Court. He stacked the federal courts across the country to back conservative Republican ideologies, which unfortunately harm black, brown, people of color, Native American, indigenous folks, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, Pacific Islander, women, whether you're cis or transgender people, intersex people, LGBTQ plus people, gay, queer people. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, she goes on. Stop being brainwashed because we are people of color. Make your own decisions. Now, here's the thing. I'll be the first to say, President Joe Biden is not a good candidate. Not in my opinion. Is he better on certain issues as it partakes to LGBTQ plus people? Yes. I mean, you have one party, like, at the end of the day, it's sad that we have to pick between two evils as far as I'm concerned. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, they're both predators, they're both abusive, they're both racist, and you know what they have in common? They're both white, cishet males who are very much narcissistic as hell. So it's almost like you're voting for the same person in some aspects, if you really think about it. But if we're going to look at it on LGBTQ plus and trans people rights, etc., the Republicans don't even want you to exist. They don't even want you to be able to say gay. They're literally banning books from public schools and public libraries because they don't want you to be educated on transgender people, on gay, queer, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, LGBTQ plus queer people. They're banning drag shows. They don't want you to exist. They don't want trans people to exist. They don't want us to have rights. They don't even want us to have health care insurance. I just want to throw that out there. For women, hello. When you look at a lot of the red states that are pretty much operated primarily by Republican leadership, abortion is outlawed. It's illegal. In the state of Missouri, you can't even divorce. If you're a woman and you're pregnant in the state of Missouri, you can't even get a divorce from your abusive, toxic-ass husband. But somehow, Donald Trump and the Republicans have the best interest for women. Okay, Amber. Anyways, hell, they made child marriage legal in Missouri. So, like, again, this is what we're dealing with. However, her response to the criticism only intensified the backlash, with many online branding her transphobic. You cannot be a feminist or pro-women's rights if you are transphobic. You are a fraud, one person wrote. I repeat, you cannot be a feminist or a pro-women's rights if you're transphobic. You are a fraud. And this keeps going on and on and on. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really see how you are a feminist if you're not inclusive. That's just like you saying that you're against racism, but it's okay to be racist against black people. You're not against racists, okay? Like, you are indeed a racist. So in this case, you're not really a feminist if you're sitting up here being transphobic. Trans women are women. Cis women are women. If you're not for their liberation, then you're not for your own liberation. And again, how does Donald J. Trump have the most common sense grounded view on abortion when he is the main reason why abortion rights, access is being denied, has been taken away? Somebody wrote, so the real Amber Rose is an anti-trans bigot, a Trump supporter, and thinks Trump cares about black people despite all evidence to the contrary. Thinking of sitting the election out, just know Amber Rose will be voting for a guy who was instrumental in overturning Roe versus Wade. And then someone wrote, so Amber Rose found a new grift. She can't say she wants to empower women and then support a rapist who wants to take away women's rights. Is she now a transphobe for the grift? Jocelyn was right. I've never been a fan, so plus, isn't she bisexual? Which, this is another aspect of the queer community that I feel like we need to talk more about, is how we have a lot of bigotry and self-hatred within our own community, right? Like, you have a lot of cis queer people who are transphobic. Somebody being bisexual has little to nothing to do with them being transphobic. There are a lot of cis bisexual people that are transphobic. It just needs to be said. You have a lot of queer and LGBTQ plus people who are racist. It just needs to be said. Like, you have a lot of bigots that are also a part of marginalized communities that also have marginalized identities, okay? And then someone wrote, Amber Rose paraded her ditzy ass around and created Slut Walk, claiming to be pro-women's rights, only to take pictures with this who put in Supreme Court justices that took it away. Literally, he appointed Supreme Court justices when he first got elected to president that literally are the key people that struck down Roe versus Wade as a federal right to abortion in the USA. So he is not on your side. But okay. Then someone wrote, didn't Amber Rose date a trans man? What a talentless donkey. This is another part where, like, again, you have a lot of cis people who will date and have sex with trans people and then not respect trans people, not care about trans people, not even be interested in us having rights or freedoms. Because at the end of the day, there are so many cis people who literally use trans people as a sexual fetish. It is what it is. They sexualize trans bodies, they sexualize trans people, and they fetishize trans people. And trans women, unfortunately, are constantly being the scapegoat for all of the problems. Meanwhile, everything that you're accusing trans women of doing and being is actually what cisgendered men are doing. Okay? Like, you're sitting up here worried about women's safety. Meanwhile, it's cis men going around dragging women in hotels and beating the shit out of them. It's cis men going around taking away your rights to reproductive health care, to you being able to get IVF, to you being able to get an abortion, to you even having access to birth control. Okay, it's mostly cis men that are going around raping and molesting women. It's not trans women. It's not trans men. It's not the LGBTQ+. Again, they have literally villainized trans women. They have literally villainized the trans community. They have literally villainized the LGBTQ+ gay queer community. We are literally all being scapegoated because this is what cis men are doing. This is what cis het folks are doing. Okay? Then someone wrote, Amber Rose uses the LGBTQ+ community to gain traction, and having them as her biggest supporters when she did her walks just to turn around and be transphobic so she can defend Trump is really something. And like I said, this is something that it's sad, but this doesn't surprise me. Like, literally, this does not surprise me. I literally dealt with a situation recently where somebody that I thought I was talking to and getting to know and quote unquote with literally misgendered me so many times and pretty much downplayed my identity and downplayed my experiences as a sexual abuse survivor. So that's why I'm here to say a lot of these cis people that be in your face claiming to be allies, claiming to like you, claiming to want you, claiming to love you, claiming to care about you, they don't give a damn about you. You're a fetish. You're being sexualized. That's what that is. And also to the cis LGBTQ+ folks, a lot of these heterosexual people do not care about you either. Okay? Again, you are literally the gay friend. You are the accessory. You're literally being used as a toy, as an accessory to their life. Because if you notice, you have a lot of these homophobic, transphobic ass women who will literally have their gay friend. Meanwhile, they're dating a homophobic ass dude who's bashing their gay friend, and they don't care. So it just needs to be said, like, a lot of these people are questionable, and I'm just going to keep on saying it. You never really know who these people are, how they really feel about you, and when it finally does come out, it's typically when they're angry or mad at you or behind your back because, you know, they're passive-aggressive cowards. So it just needs to be said. I just wanted to make a video on this because I'm like, she's doing all these slut walks and talking about, you know, trying to knock down the stigma when it comes to women and sex, only for her to support a rapist. Only for her to support a rapist who arguably is the very reason why Roe versus Wade was struck down. So, yeah, information will be in the description box below. And my next video, I will be discussing Target. And again, how you have these corporations who pop out of nowhere during June. All of a sudden, it's rainbows and fairy dust for everybody. But behind the scenes, they're just as homophobic and transphobic and biphobic. And they don't want you to have rights. They just want your money. Stay tuned.